Hi, everybody. Welcome. Stuff and things. How's everybody doing in the wake of the shitstorm that is Twitter? Well, it's not Twitter, which is TTRPG Twitter.
That is on Twitter.
Twitter is its own fire, but Good morning, Matt. How's Australia? You speak for the entire continent. What was that, buddy? Anyways, ready to go full pirate. That does not sound bad, to be honest.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh my gosh. I saw you posting in the Paizo Discord about that.
Yep.
I was like, oof. All for that for D&D, well, D&D Beyond / Wizards / I don't know who's supposed to make the announcement anymore. But they never did it, which is absurd if you ask me. I think that's kind of another just layer of salt in the wound that a lot of people are frustrated with. Just the fact that they're not saying anything. It's absurd. IMHO.
Plus, it's tomorrow's Friday. It's unlikely for an announcement.
True.
Monday's a holiday.
Monday's a holiday. I forgot.
So, I guess they're gonna take the weekend, mull it over, and come back Tuesday.
There is no mulling it over while your brand is down the drain. Hi, Valcor. Welcome.
Hello.
Figure painting is new. It's true. I've not really done it before, but I can show you. Ugh. We have... It's sort of mini, sort of not. We have to thank Steamforge Games for giving to us 2 of these. We have this and its companions. This is Arena of the Undead Horde for their Epic Encounters line, and this is the Tower of the Lich Empress, and these 2 go together, which is fantastic. I'm sure the OGL appears in here because it says 5e compatible, which will be fun. But these are long since been published. Would be surprised if they drop their video announcement at the end of the day tomorrow. Oh, just so that people don't really have a chance to respond, or that they have an excuse to go quiet after the announcement.
Yeah.
Actually makes a lot of sense.
I can see that.
It'd be fucked up, but I wouldn't put it behind. I wouldn't put it past them, rather.
No.
Dude, orc. Listen,
orc.
I'm so excited. I was so proud, and I was really, really grateful. So we knew that Paizo had been waiting. Aaron had been hinting on social media that they were holding their, they're waiting, using their reaction to, what's that? They did it with just bait so they could pull it back 5%. All right, I will get to that as well, because there's some talks about what some of the quote unquote changes that have been made so far. But the I knew that was you, Zach. I knew that was you. I miss you too. We miss you.
I need to roll dice with you eventually.
It's true. So we knew that Aaron was hinting at some things yesterday, basically, with saying, oh, they have a reaction, they're just waiting for the action to trigger the reaction, and in the Discord server with some Paizo partners, we have been chomping at the bit for what this announcement might be, and then the fact that they were waiting for today, basically, for the expected, so to speak, announcement. There's been some insider things of saying it was supposed to be at 3 p.m. Eastern, which, came and went. And then there was around 2 o'clock Eastern, there was mention that they push it back again. All that stuff, which is just, again, absurd. And the fact that basically 6 o'clock Eastern rolled around, and Paizo just, they said fuck it to the reaction, and just, use their action and announce and drop that bomb, made me so very happy. I understand why they wanted to wait to get some kind of confirmation, aside from just rumors and leaks. But at this point in time, like, the silence is deafening, if you ask me. It's absolutely deafening.
And I'll be honest, this is just speculation from me, but I feel like they would have it on at least decent authority to drop it probably from behind the scenes. Like maybe Wizards hasn't made an announcement, but Paizo, I feel like Paizo probably knows a little more than everyone else as well, and that's why it got dropped.
Well, interestingly enough, I'm turning your volume up just a touch, Waffles, by the way.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, so I don't know who all has managed to read the full. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Cam.
Welcome. I don't know who all has seen read the full article because Paizo's website, bless their soul, did not last very long. The influx of all of that. But Jason Bullman tweeted with pictures of the article alongside. It's on the Reddit boards. It's you can still find it. But in regards to what Paizo knows, they actually mention in the article that they don't know anything. So, for the last several weeks, as rumors of Wizards of the Coast's new version of the open game license began circulating, amongst publishers, social media, gamers across the world have been asking what Paizo's plans to do in light of concerns regarding Wizards of the Coast rumored plan to deauthorize the existing OGL 1.0a. We have been awaiting further information, hoping that Wizards would realize that for more than 20 years the OGL has been a mutually beneficial license which should not and cannot be revoked. And then while we continue to await an answer from Wizards, we strongly feel that Paizo can no longer delay making our own feelings and about the importance of open gaming a part of the public discussion. I love the little while we continue to await thrown in there. That was beautiful. But it was beautiful to read, and I was really, really happy about that. Yeah. Thank you. I'm catching up on chat at the same time, so I apologize. If I miss anything, feel free to just say it again. But it's like they learned nothing from 4E. Yeah.
This is just history repeats. Literally, they're doing the same thing over again.
And they mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
So they said, and the way they wrote it too, which is like, there's a way to, there's corporate speak. There's making sure that you are speaking in ways that not just, represents your brand, but is also not too combative, et cetera, et cetera. But they were very, very, very plain. And I think as quote unquote combative, or rather just like plainly as they could, given the situation, because they just wrote, we were there. And in regards to like the whole thing with this happening before, so Paizo owner Lisa Stevens and Paizo president Jim Butler were leaders on the Dungeons and Dragons team at Wizards at the time. Brian Lewis, co-founder of Azora Law, the intellectual property law firm that Paizo uses, was the attorney at Wizards who came up with the legal framework for the OGL itself. Paizo's also been working very closely on OGL related issues with Ryan Dancy, the visionary who conceived the OGL in the first place. So yeah, absolutely, Paizo was involved with the original OGL, with the shitstorm that was, the failure of 4E, and they learned from it, and that's why Paizo was even made. So I trusted that Paizo was going to be ready with something, right, with this, but the punch they packed with this was so beautiful. What are you saying, Zach? I think the idea of stealing the content creators and TTRPG devs that were previously under the OGL is such a freaking reverse that tastes so tremendously good. So to clarify though, like they didn't just like take them for this scenario. They went from Wizards to Paizo from the get-go, from 4E time, or 3.5 time for when Paizo was made. These people left Wizards to go build Paizo, from my understanding.
Well, I think he's specifically talking about like Paizo's statement today was a good Uno reverse, because now they're stealing all the OGL.
Yes. Well, he's saying that stealing the content creators and TTRPG devs that were previously under the OGL. With this maybe? Hold on. Correct. Perfectly statement. 100%. Yes. Just tricky. Okay, so yesterday when they made this announcement, gotcha, Zach. Sorry. With this announcement when they had like finalized, I think, the announcement, and we're just waiting to hit send, basically. They were chatting in the Paizo partners, and it was so, you could tell, I could feel it, that everybody was ready and excited for this and super proud of themselves, as they should be. But it was very much this like 1, 2, 3, whoever was online at the time being like, we're ready, like they were all there, and it was very, very cute to see this. I'm trying to scroll up, there is literally so much. Oh yeah, Jason of What Do You Do Pods was like, should I joy emoji or like chagrin emoji here, Aaron, to Aaron Shanks, director of marketing at Paizo. And Aaron's like, but really morale is good. And then Alex Spedell, John Morgantini, and no, I think just the two of them back to back immediately went, yeah, agreed. And that was a great 1, 2, 3 punch. I agree. Retweet buttons at the ready. Yes. Yeah, hi Nat 20 Productions official. Yeah, Aaron is always super chill, but you know, right, they've been working behind the scenes. WoTC, in contrast, used super casual language in the leaked documents. Way too. That's the first thing I noticed. It was way too casual for a legal document. It was like, just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's not classy. You know you're doing stuff that is negative. You know you're doing stuff that's shitty. And you're like, oh, now you can level up if you make more money. And it's like, oh, tone deaf. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. And it's bullshit. It was just a draft. Draft or not, it is, you know, what they're planning. It was where their intentions were.
Yeah, they're just trying to level up their gameplay to pay to win.
So, yeah, honestly. I thought it was really funny though, because if you navigate to WoTC's Twitter, like the pinned post, hold on, let me just make sure it's still the pinned post. Wizards. God, it's not even the first thing that comes up when I type in Wizards, which makes sense. Yeah, their pinned tweet is still from February of 2022. We're thrilled to announce, you know, the new president of Wizards of the Coast, and I feel like, you know, that I generally deal in corporate world, like that's my day job. I know how much turnover there usually is with corporations and that type of stuff. And the fact that it was February 2022 and this has kind of happened since then, it just feels very much like, yeah, you know, new leadership takes over and decide to go in a direction based on whatever energy they bring in with the people that they bring in, and this is what happens.
I don't know a whole lot about corporations, but I mean, I gotta ask, like, they got boards and stuff, right? So, like, the president can't just come in and be like, this is happening. Like, there's gotta be votes and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, but the thing that corporate world comes in, and this is actually a good convo to have in general, because Waffle's perspective, you're not really in the corporate environment. The usual way that it goes is that corporate, when there's changeover that happens, it always feels gross to me, but it's very, very common that when one leadership change over time, there is very swiftly, kind of after that one figurehead changes, there's a lot of movement within the organization as they pull up or to the side, or just reorg basically to bring their people along with them for the, you know, so they pull their people into place with them to allow them to do the things that they want done.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the American government.
Yep. Oh, I saw what you wrote that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Everyone was like, yesterday Nonat mentioned that he was going to redo the 2e intro video he made last year. And Aaron was like, yes, but wait. Yeah, that was the first time that we were like,
That was the first drop, the little hint.
Which is why that's from that comment, Zach, was when we all went to our Discord server and we were like, Aaron, what's going on? Not that they could actually tell us, but no. So to continue looking through this real quick, there's two things that this announcement from Paizo actually. Is that the dog?
Sorry,
There's two things from this announcement that I pulled from that were very interesting. So obviously, before this announcement, we were working really. We were keeping tabs. Right? We were keeping a pulse on everything that was going on, and we Waffles and I we're smart people, like, for what it's worth, that we were looking at for what it's worth, if I say so myself, but we were trying not to, like, try not to fearmonger, try not to make guesses, and I've said it a couple times where it's very frustrating to be in this environment where everybody just starts, like, jumps to conclusions that are based off of nothing, and non-lawyers come in with, like, oh, this is how it's gonna have to happen, and you're like, no, it's not how it has to happen necessarily. So a lot of that was me trying to avoid what everybody was saying, and just, between Waffles and myself, we were just having conversations based on the facts that we were able to find. So we were reading through the OGL ourselves, and we're not lawyers. We were looking at official Paizo statements, and so one of the biggest things in the conversation that a lot of people were in the Paizo Pathfinder communities, what kept coming up was, but Paizo, Pathfinder rather, 2e and 1e are based out of the OGL. So what does that mean for the future of Pathfinder and the future of the direction that Paizo goes in? And that was the other thing that this article clarified for me very, very interestingly. So aside from Paizo's stance on they don't believe that the OGL 1.0a can be deauthorized ever, and I thought it was very sweet that they mentioned that they're prepared to go argue that in a court of law, but also recognize that a lot of people are not able to do that. But point being is that when they brought out Pathfinder First Edition to continue publishing our popular monthly adventures back in 2008, using Wizards language was important and expeditious. But in our non-RPG products, including our Pathfinder Tales novels, the Pathfinder Adventure card game, and others, we shifted our focus away from D&D tropes to lean harder into ideas from our own writers. By the time we went to work on Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Wizards of the Coast's open game content was significantly less important to us. So I'll pause there, because that was the biggest thing. We were like, with Pathfinder 2e, which is, what's continuing to be published right now, if you go to Wiki or you go to their website, it says, yes, Pathfinder 2e is under the open gaming license. So we, Waffles and I, again, we're not lawyers, took that as they will be affected by this. And this clarification was really interesting to me, which is that, where did it go? So our designers and developers wrote the new edition without using Wizards' copyrighted expressions of any game mechanics, which we do know that. While we still published it under the OGL, the reason was no longer to allow Paizo to use Wizards' expressions, but to allow other companies to use our expressions. Holy fucking shit, y'all. That is amazing. The reason in Pathfinder 2e that Paizo even has the open gaming license is not for their sake, but to allow third-party content creators to make shit off of their stuff.
Yo.
That was chef's kiss. And super amazing. And so first of all, in one sentence, that is confirmation and relief for us that are, like, wanting to, know about the future for 2e, know that, there is nothing in 2e that is going to be basically affected by this, and if Wizards tries to say otherwise, they're going to fight that battle, which is very, very comforting to a lot of third-party content creators, which we know a lot of in the Pathfinder community, and is very, very strong in this community. 1.0a is a recursive license. All within terms, material is brought back into access of licensed users for the use of other licensed users. Yes, absolutely. This whole chasing revenue, they believe they're losing, results in these OGL fustercluck. I like that word. I'm gonna use that word. Fustercluck. Could have just been avoided if they made D&D Beyond a Steam-like platform. Oh my God, Red, how have you not been following?
Oh man.
Unacceptable. I'll never forgive you.
Welcome.
I've already forgiven you. It's okay. Yeah, so Never Ending Codex, that is in line with something that I saw earlier today. It was Matthew Colville, I believe, that first expressed that back in 2022. I think it was 2022, when they were in the direction of it was very interesting. I watched this video and I unfortunately did not finish watching all of it, but it was I will try to find it out. Maybe I'll post it on Twitter afterwards if I can find it. But it was somebody else showing some footage of the podcast that was recorded at that point, overlaid with their own commentary that had to do with Matthew Colville's basically like interpretation of all of this before it even happened, and he called it. He absolutely called all of these things, including that he didn't believe that they would go in towards the Steam-like platform, but it was one of the two options, and it absolutely is based on who is in charge, right? It's absolutely based on there's two routes you can go. You can go down the route of third-party content creation is good for the company because they don't have the time and money to put into making the third-party content, and it's like, here you go, it's cheaper, it's more content, it's better for
free content
basically. And then there's the other camp that looks at it and says, why are these people making money that we could be having ourselves? Capitalism.
Well, they're going down a third route, right, where it's like they don't even care that people are making money that they could have. They want people to make them money.
Well, that is an answer to that camp, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is well, here's how I'm going to fix the fact that you're making money that I think should be mine, so to speak.
Now we make your money and we own your stuff.
Yes, exactly. Which I'm not on. I have less personal interest in getting into the nitty gritty of how awful that license is, like the updated Open Gaming license, because we still haven't seen it. We still haven't seen the final version. So I'm willing to kind of wait on that a little bit, but all of that to say, basically, just to catch everybody up who hasn't read the article, what they're doing is Paizo believes, as they always have, that open gaming makes better gaming. That open gaming makes games better, improves profitability for all involved, and enriches the community of gamers who participate in this amazing hobby. So we invite gamers from around the world to join us as we begin the next chapter of open gaming with the release of a new open, perpetual, and irrevocable, I italicize another shot, Open RPG Creative License. So Open RPG Creative License is what they're calling ORC, which is really, really funny. I thought that was cute. And already, I think, I don't know if you all saw the tweet from Paizo's Organized Play, which is like, everyone's asking for discounts on the orc heritage. Hold on, or where was it? I'm gonna find this because it was cute. Oh, to everyone who's already DM'd me asking if we're going to make the orc ancestry / species boons cheaper now, please stop asking, because our website is down, so I can't update them yet. Which is really cute. The Stewardship of Magic should have hinted at this, yet somehow I was still gobsmacked. To be honest, I've come to declare the true meaning of the OGL. Go ahead, Brandon. What is it? I must know. OGL, play Blades in the Dark. All right, all right.
I mean, only if you're running it for us. Otherwise, you
That's
come
true.
play Pathfinder2e.
That's true. I do love, though, this picture that I mentally have right now of Brandon opening the door, like, slams the door open, walks into the room here. I'm here to talk about Blades in the Dark, and just all these Pathfinder creators are staring back at you. Because a lot of Pathfinder creators are in chat, which I love.
It's pretty notorious that Pathfinder players like Blades in the Dark, though. So
is there a nice friendship here?
It's like the right amount of chunky meat cinematic. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down to play Blades in the Dark. I do believe that I'm already in a signed, legally binding agreement with Brandon and Duval. They don't know it yet, but it's true that I am going to be playing in a game of theirs. So It's fine.
I heard I'm a guest on that show, so.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Eric says, thank you. It drives me nuts watching everyone panicking when it may not even be the OGL. Concerns, yes, but not this level. Yes. No, I am more, you are in a game whenever Duval decides to tell me about it. That's fair. I am definitely in the camp here. The reason I knew we were going to talk about the OGL because as it's relevant to all of this, but honestly, what we do have for sure and certain is the commitment from Paizo. So there's two really, really important things I want to highlight about ORC, as we're calling it now, which I think is so amazing. So first of all, they're working with Azora Law, the intellectual property law that represents Paizo, and several other game publishers. Paizo is going to pay for this legal work, which is just amazing. And I have no doubt the community will rally, as is evident already by the crashing of their website. But Paizo is saying, we're committed to this. We're going to make it happen. They are inviting game publishers worldwide to join in support of this system agnostic license that allows all games to provide their own unique open rule reference documents that open up their individual game systems to the world. There is a link. There's going to be a form. So if any of you all are independent publishers of any kind that are interested in this, you can, once the site is back up, or check out the Reddit. I believe you would be able to find it there. You can sign up using their form to be involved, provide feedback on the draft of this license, etc. But the beautiful thing here is it is Paizo. In addition, Cobalt Press, Chaosium Inc.
Yeah, I think so.
Do not know why that is difficult to say. I am so sorry. Legendary Games, Rogue Genius, Green Ronin. We've liked Green Ronin for a while as well. And a growing list of publishers have already agreed to participate in the Open RPG Creative License. And in the coming days, we hope and expect to add substantially to this group. So y'all, there's a couple more stuff here. One is that they're opening this up, that they're doing this, that Paizo is paying for this. And then two, Paizo is paying for this, but ORC is not going to be owned by Paizo, nor will it be owned by any company who makes money publishing RPGs. So Azora Law's ownership of the process and stewardship should provide a safe harbor against any company being bought, sold, or changing management again, shots fired, in the future, and attempting to rescind rights to nullify sections of this license. What? Who would make a license and then attempt to rescind rights and nullify sections of it? That's what? Who would? Okay. But basically, ultimately, they're looking to find a nonprofit with a history of open source values to own the license, which I think is amazing. So Paizo's going to pay for it. They're partnering with so many amazing publishers, not going to be owned by Paizo, not going to be owned by anybody, basically. Now, already, you know us as Waffles Maple Syrup are huge Pathfinder fans. We are been fans of Paizo for a while now. We know, as we followed through a lot of the history of kind of some of the stuff that they've been going through, that they make the right decisions, or they try to carve the path that we feel is morally right, and we've been proud to put our what's the idiom? To put our
eggs in Paizo's basket.
Yeah, put our things there. So
I don't know.
Y'all, when you have two languages in your head, the idioms get really confusing. But that one, So I did want to say the same thing that I said. People making fun of me.
I just read Ashen's works. Put your blank in Paizo's blank. And I was
put
like,
our blank in Paizo's blank.
Let's make a meme of that.
Nope, let's not. I will repeat what I wrote to them with genuinely all my heart, which is, first of all, just a thank you. So for us, so I'll say it, I'll read it as I did. So Paizo, thank you. You continue to impress, to stand strong, and to reinforce the decisions of your fans and spokespersons. We do consider ourselves spokespeople for that brand as we play it and yell about it loudly. It has been a huge relief throughout this whole conversation. Yes, there's a lot of fear mongering. Yes, there's a lot of unknown, and yes, there's validly a lot of struggle with a lot of this. But it has been a huge weight off our shoulders to feel this whole time that we're lucky enough to be in this corner over here. And this announcement just really does reinforce that we made a good decision. We made a good choice to do that, and to believe in them. So huge props and appreciation from not just Waffles and myself, but a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, big time. I mean, we've had at least me, I've had the pleasure of not being that scared during all this, because at the very, like, Paizo's a company, blah, 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 yeah, we get it. But at the very least, we know Paizo makes decisions with the right intent. It may not always be the right decision, but their intent behind it was the best decision.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and I think I don't want to just say blah 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 to that, because I think it is actually kind of important. Paizo is a company, right? They are absolutely a company, and in this day and age, there absolutely has to be considered profit and margins and stakeholders and shareholders and all of that stuff is not irrelevant to this conversation.
Yeah.
But yes, exactly. Paizo still feels like it's run by gamers at heart. While it is the way that it is right now, we still look at it as an indie company, although they are obviously growing. Have a good night, Zach.
Bye.
Peace. Yes, we do need to use this license for our projects, Brandon. That would be great. I like how you weren't sure which Zach, so covered both.
It's the H.
Grow the pie, not the piece you want to cut out of it. Exactly.
Truth.
Absolutely. But yeah, so we do still think that I'm grateful that we can still view them as an indie company, despite how large they get, and the fact that they're still large enough to make an impact, large enough to feel like they can stand up in court against Wizards of the Coast, and still know that, like, still recognize in every communication that there are people that can't do that they're going to pay for this, but they're not going to own it. That is not something that you expect to see. I wish it was, but in this society, it's just not. It is not what you expect. And the fact that there's that reminder of, no, we don't have to do things the way every capitalistic corporation is doing things right now it's nice. I like that feeling. More people should do that. But to that point, I already know so many people are looking into Pathfinder2e, though there was concern as to how they would still be affected by this open gaming license. So
there shouldn't be any more.
They're going to stand up for it in court if they need to, but I will share the same thing that's in this article, which is, if you do want to support Paizo after all of this, that you can. And first of all, a small note, so I'm going to read what they said, and then I'm going to make a small comment on it. We hope that you will continue to support Paizo and other game publishers in this difficult time for the entire hobby. You can do your part by supporting the many companies that have provided content under the OGL. Support Pathfinder and Starfinder by visiting your local game store, subscribing to Pathfinder and Starfinder, or taking advantage of discount code OpenGaming during checkout for 25% off your purchase of the core rulebook, the core rulebook pocket edition, or the Pathfinder beginner box. I think that's very cute. But first of all, 25% off, I think that's more than they usually do, and it's very cheeky, and it's kind of funny that the code is OpenGaming. Again, I love all the shots. But specifically, I think the thing that even I noticed in this is not that, but the order of operations, the order of that sentence, which is how you can support this situation as a whole. Like, we hope you'll continue to support Paizo and other gaming publishers, but you can do that by first supporting many companies that have provided content under the OGL. That's the first thing they said. Then support Pathfinder and Starfighter by visiting your local game store. That's second. And then also, yes, you can go directly to their website, you can use this code, but first support your local game store. First support, other publishers that were going to be affected by this. And I think even that speaks for itself. Yep. And they said, we'll be there by your side. You can count on us not to go back on our word, which, just that last little shots fired, I needed to get in there. Wasn't Mats Cook one of the original authors of the OGL? I don't know.
Yes.
It is? Yes, thank you.
I replied in chat, but yes, he even made a tweet about it, and the Cypher system also receiving backlash since the Cypher system is based on it.
So
since he was one of the original authors, he knew the intent when they sat down to do it, and knew that the intent was good. And so the Cypher system is hard based off the OGL, and now Monty Cook was receiving some backlash, and the Cypher system was as well, just because XYZ.
Interesting. Okay. No, I've just seen a lot of people talk about switching over to the Cypher system as well.
Yeah, because they don't think he's going to do that, but they have been receiving backlash. I can read it real quick.
If you don't mind.
He says, I was there... Sorry, there's a mistype. I was there when the original OGL was created. I know firsthand how hard those drafting it tried to sincerely make it so that it would last forever and it would never screw over anyone that used it. So, when we decided to create a Cypher system, open license, with the same goals, of course we used the OGL as a model. And now, after 2 days of potential Wizards of the Coast shenanigans, people are looking at our open license as though it's dodgy. Sigh.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand now what you're saying. I appreciate all that stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely interesting, and that sucks. And that's like kind of the other thing that people are talking about, right? With like all of this fear mongering and everything. There's a lot of people attacking, first of all, individuals. I've seen quite a few. I got push to talk on by accident. I've seen a lot of people talk about like, hey, don't attack the people that are working at Wizards of the Coast. I have not gone out to look for any of those attacks because I really don't need that in my life.
Don't need that negativity at all.
Yeah, I don't need that. But that, in my opinion, goes without saying. And likewise, in this situation, don't just start jumping on other versions of OGLs in fear of, oh, are you gonna fuck us over too? Because that doesn't help anything.
It's like, it sucks because it's like, it's a natural human response though, is because like once you realize something can fail and be pulled out from under you, you get scared that it's gonna happen every single chance that it can.
Yep, absolutely.
And so like everyone's gonna worry, obviously, and if people aren't making statements like Paizo right now, then I think the natural reaction is that people are going to be sketch.
I think anxiety and fear of, similar pattern situations is valid. There is that line of, though, it's Twitter, it's social media, finesse and conversations and not hot takes is a lost art. Communication is a lost art. But I think that there's still ways of expressing that concern, expressing that anxiety that is not attacking anybody, that is not provoking aggression or otherwise. So I think, and if that's what's happening, again, I'm not going out of my way to find this type of behavior because it's just not something that I'm interested in. I don't want it on my timeline. I don't want to ingest it with my eyeballs. I am happy without that.
Yep.
Twitter's on fire. Hasbro execs adds gasoline, basically. So the reminder of this is I'm so proud of Paizo for this announcement. I am glad I understand why they didn't wait. I understand all of that. I will not be surprised if Wizards of the Coast does it on Friday, and
I won't be surprised if they don't now, honestly. I bet if they had a plan, they don't now.
Listen, the the other side of this is that there is still so much unknown, which is the unfortunate side, right? So as much as I am so grateful and proud of Paizo for their course of action, the other side of it is there is still this deafening silence with questions, right? And we still have so many questions, and there's still a lot of people that are friends in this community that are going to be impacted. So it is still stressful, and it is valid for everybody who still has concerns, that isn't taking this. You know, we are very lucky. We currently, at this point in time, do not have any D&D shows live, or D&D content. We have a Pathfinder show. We have a Delta Green show, which has an open license as well. So
I'll correct that. They don't have an open license.
I saw something about Delta Green.
You can write in like adventures for them, and they're more than happy to like help you publish content for them. But based on their system, they have a very strict license that because it's based off Call of Cthulhu.
Understood.
But they're verbal about that, and they're not hiding it or anything.
Yeah, they're upfront about it. Okay, so yes, we whatever our current live ongoing campaigns and content is safe. So this has put a huge anxiety and unknown to rest for us moving forward, which is why we're incredibly grateful. But I understand that for a lot of people that is not yet, shut and closed. There is so much, and I think it is unacceptable for Wizards of the Coast to still be silent about this. Wizards of the Coast, but it's just the Ice King from Adventure Time. I missed that one. That one's good. It's in a bad place. No matter what they say or do, they will be seen as the bad guys.
Yep.
Yes.
They've definitely fallen back a little. I think there's only one thing they can do to even halfway pull themselves out of this.
I'm curious.
Can I give some wild speculation?
Sure, let's go for it.
Revoke their OGL and join Paizo's.
Oh.
I think that's the only thing they can do to get themselves out of this situation. Because Paizo's already taken the step forward, and now, like, what are they going to do? Create the same one? Like, no one's going to like that either.
I would respect that move, comparatively.
Yeah. I think that's the only respectable move they can make to actually bring some people back to D&D.
I agree. I think that is the only respectable thing where and that is to kind of just to join Paizo's / everyone's orc instead.
I don't know if they do it, but
I don't listen. Realistically, I don't think they will. I don't think that they're at that point. Because, and this is something else like that. This is something that I wanted to mention outside of that point, but is also kind of relevant to that point. The thing here is that there is a lot of conversation about, especially today, a lot of this started with another leak from an email from within D&D Beyond, that they're using their subscription sales as the quick and dirty measure of success and income for Wizards of the Coast at this current moment, as a pulse check on how this whole OGL thing is shaking out, because that was released and everyone kind of caught on. Everyone tried to what's it called?
Mass cancel, basically.
Yeah, just cancel their subscriptions to D&D Beyond, to the point that their site also went down and had issues with how many people were trying to unsubscribe.
I have a question here. I've seen 2 stories about that.
Sure.
So one was that their site went down, or like their cancel portal went down, and another was that they hid it and you can still get to it behind a link.
Oh, I've not heard either of these things. If anybody in chat has any info on that, I would be interested in hearing what there is. But no, I was not aware of that. All I know is there were some issues, but I still kept seeing an influx of like screen caps of people canceling their subscription.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what was going on with that. It would be shitty if they did, but
The worst part about it is, unfortunately, D&D Beyond's like one of the few actual like with high accessibility options.
Yes. So there that's a whole like additional conversation where D&D Beyond was one of the first things that really made it easy to make a character for D&D. There is that accessibility aspect of, you know, lowering the crunch, lowering the process, lowering the mental load of just having to make a character. It's very much like pick, here you go, all rolled up, here's your character. It's automated, it's helpful, it's great. I absolutely agree that D&D Beyond has its bonus and has its positives, but I think a lot of people were simply making the stand for the sake of making an impact and as Duval says, voting with your wallet.
Yep.
Which I think both are valid. I think the important thing is no one should be shaming anybody for their personal decisions. I think there is reasons on all accounts here, and there is it's just, listen, it's not 2D, it's not a flat sheet of paper, it's a complex situation, and everybody has their own shit to deal with. That's okay.
It's 20D, right?
Huh?
I said it's 20D, right?
No. But what I'm trying to say is that with the OGL stuff, there are people that are still affected by this. There are still a lot of unknowns, and there is still worry there. And so this is just sort of my reminder, though, to, as shitty as it is to have to wait and to be made to wait for an official announcement, regardless of what it ends up being, to not get pulled into all the speculation, to just kind of have that in mind. Facts, D&D Beyond was throwing error pages, and the link to subscription management was hidden. Some think it was due to traffic in the back end trying to fix errors to prevent legal issues with error processing by stemming the tide. Some think that WoTC brought it down on purpose and hid it on purpose to make it too inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, those are the two stories I heard, and the only backup I ever saw is somebody on Twitter posted a link that would take you to the portal.
Gotcha. I think so. The only thing Brandon, your comment reminded me. I'm excited to build my new system with this new OGL. So the only other thing that was mentioned, and I think I closed the tab already, so I will. Oh no, it's here. Oh no, Twitter, don't refresh on me.
No.
There we go. So there is going to be some time, okay, for this to be made. So a couple things to expect, and this is again in terms of wait, Syrup, you close tabs. Shut up, Brandon. I don't. Don't worry. I did not close it. It's okay. I still have at least 30 tabs open. They say Paizo plans to continue publishing Pathfinder and Starfinder, even as we move away from the open gaming license. Since months worth of products are still at the printer, which is very valid, you'll see the familiar OGL 1.0a in the back of our products for a while yet. While the open RPG creative license is being finalized, we'll be printing Pathfinder and Starfinder products without any license, and then they will add the finished license to those products when the new license is complete. So they don't necessarily mention a timeline, but for your brain space as well, Brandon, I do think that there's going to be some time. It's going to be a work in progress. This stuff will take time. I don't know how long. I'll be curious to get an idea of you know, what is the scale or scope of timeline that we're talking about? Months or years, you know, just kind of in that scale. But we'll see. But just something to keep in mind that is as we all like kind of work on our own independent projects, that, you know, we'll keep in touch. And I think, Brandon, if you want, check out that form on the article, and see if you can, even if you're not a company publisher, to like, I just don't know what they need. You might be able to keep tabs on it and get an idea. Hiding it on purpose would surely break several consumer protection laws, asks.
I think Eldritch Dream is right here. Not sure, but as long as you can get there, it's pretty easy to defend it. Making it hard to get to is less legal issue than people unsubbing and being charged later.
Yeah, so I agree with Eldritch Dream on this. I think the other thing, though, is can you prove it? there is, even if that was the case, even if they were doing the shitty thing and hiding it or however, they can very, very much say that it was due to traffic and the back end trying to fix errors to prevent legal issues when they erred processing by stemming the tide, as Eldritch Dreams originally said. Like, if that's the statement, how can anybody really prove it? So yes, theoretically, but 100% happy to wait. I've got plenty of hacks for indie games. Yeah. I have my doubts, but in all honesty, most backends do shit like that by default because of traffic. Yeah, agreed. From a techie side of things, it's 60-40. Yeah. No proof, but we'll know. You know what? I think half the time it is there's no proof, but people are going to think whatever they want to think. Yep. And if your reputation is in the trash because of some decisions that you have made, and this is now the conclusion that people are jumping to, maybe you should look at why your reputation is in the trash, good sir. But
at the end of the day, that's your problem, right?
Yeah, okay. That was a long ass rant, which I appreciate y'all's.
It's a good rant that I will be putting on YouTube.
Oh, will we? Great.
Yeah.
Great. Everyone.
So I'm cutting that part out of the rant, basically, like out of the stream to put up, and that's not. It's gonna be its own thing.
Okay. Great. Wizards Coast made a lot of poor choices this past year, especially. It's only an hour. Yeah. Okay.
Less than an hour, honestly.
That's not bad. So I listen, I'm happy to keep talking about this. If anybody has any additional questions or input or anything, or if while we are streaming we're missing fun stuff on the Twitter sphere, just let us know.
Yeah, give her something to talk about while she's painting.